Hello and welcome to the Club Development Scotland podcast, a podcast by Supporters Direct Scotland. In this episode of the podcast, we're going to be speaking to Barry Munro, co-founder and operations director of Fantastic Fanatics, a fundraising platform designed to make generating funds for your sports club easy. Now, fundraising is obviously a vital aspect of any club's remit, and questions of how to fundraise effectively are an ongoing concern. That's especially true given the issues COVID-19 has presented this year and will probably continue to do, which has made it more important than ever to find safe ways to raise money, particularly with fundraising events having been cancelled over the past 12 months and clubs often missing large chunks of revenue that they used to be able to depend on. So we're delighted to be chatting to Barry, co-founder of Fantastic Fanatics, which has been dedicated and set up really to help sports clubs overcome this problem and help them raise vital income. In the interview, we'll be discussing with Barry why he started the platform, how the platform works and how clubs can get maximum value from it. Now, I suppose on a personal note, it's always nice to do interviews like this when you yourself actually use the product or the platform and can vouch for it, which is what I'm very fortunate to be able to do, because we use it with a couple of clubs that we work with here at Club Development Scotland, and it's already been fruitful for us even though we've not been using it for long. So don't have any hesitation in being able to vouch for it and provide a glowing testimony for Barry's platform and the work of Fantastic Fanatics and their team. So without further ado, let's introduce Barry. Well, Barry, thank you so much for joining us today. I wondered if you could tell us a little bit about why you started Fantastic Fanatics.
Well, thanks for having me on, Andrew. Well, I mean, there's a couple of main reasons why we started Fantastic Fanatics. Myself and my colleague Danny, we've been pals for 30 odd years. Scary stuff, but came up with it because we were actually a little bit angry, I guess, because of all the money circulating in the English Premiership. And we thought, what could we do for Scottish clubs to try and even bridge that gap just a little bit? And then that's the moment Fantastic Fanatics was born. But it was a lot more than that. And quite quickly in the journey, we thought, well, hold on, we could be bigger and better than this and actually help any sports club at any level generate a new revenue stream. It doesn't cost the club anything, and it doesn't cost the fan or member or any stakeholder anything more. Simply, what could we do that would allow clubs to get paid when their own fans, their own members book hotels, eat out, and even paying utility bills, etc. And that's when the real nitty gritty of Fantastic Fanatics concept was sort of driven forward. But also, the other sort of main reasons that I'm not too sure about out with Scotland. We did most of our homework was done in Scotland, but there's funding cuts year on year, and I'm a massive believer that sport matters and the benefits of sport are just amazing. And I've been lucky enough to be in sport all my life, and what it's done for me, I just wanted to do for other people. And I think that's the main reasons for why we started Fantastic Fanatics, Andrew.
Yeah, it's a sort of, I'm not sure if you describe yourselves as this, but it's almost like a social enterprise in that respect, isn't it? In terms of basically generating free money for clubs. Perhaps you could tell us a little bit about how the mechanics of it work and how clubs get money.
It's really complicated in the back end to make it really simple for the user, the club, the member. So basically there's two tech channels we have integrated into our website. Now basically that allows sort of sports club to join up and build their own fundraising army that we provide all the promotional material for, from MP3 files, posters, guides, templates, etc. And basically there's two tech channels that we integrate into the website that allow for online shopping and fundraising, but also in-store shopping and fundraising. So the online shopping uses click references. So when people click through from Fantastic Fanatics to that certain retailer, we can track, spot, and process that transaction, which allows us to give the chosen club the commission on that sale. It's slightly different, slightly easier for in-store shopping as well, because all you do is securely link your everyday debit and credit cards, and I can walk you through the security in a minute. We've done a lot there, but then very much like the online shopping, you walk into one of our partner shops, pay as normal at the point of sale, at the till point, and basically then that commission is allocated back to the members' chosen club. So it's two different ways of tracking transactions, but amounts to the same thing, raising money for sports clubs.
So you mentioned just there about the fact that what kind of separates Fantastic Fanatics is not only that clubs can generate cash back when they buy online, but actually somebody can link their cards to their account. And then if they go into one of the stores, one of your partner stores, that they generate income there as well. So kind of merging the best of two worlds.
Yeah, absolutely. I think it's very unique. It's still very new technology, but it's a case of trying to educate retailers on how it works because it is so new. But it's a very unique thing at the moment. And we hope we can help lots of sports clubs with that side of things. We've got a lot more to do in terms of the in-store offering we provide our clubs and members, but we are getting there. And the more clubs that came on board, we're trying to work with these clubs in their own communities, whereby you want to create a virtuous circle. So basically the club comes on, the more fans sign up, more fans shop at the retailer in that community. Then more clubs will come on in that community, which means more fans, and just to create a virtuous circle that goes around like that. But yeah, we did a lot of homework with Fantastic Fanatics, and you have to find where your market and where you can sit in that market, where that place is. And we do think there's a huge market and a great slice of the cake still to be had. So it's really important that we were sports centric. We have opened up our platform to charities and good causes, purely because of the huge revenue losses they've had with COVID-19. But we are sports centric. We offer some amazing deals and discounts through our retail partners, and we've got quarterly cash prize draws as well. So we'll be dedicating 5% of total revenue through the platform to our quarterly prize draws. So with some chunky numbers as we grow, and the first prize draw will be at the end of Q1 2021. So look out for that. But yeah, you have to try and be very unique in a world that's full of white noise and try and stand out. And I think we've sort of managed to achieve that with Fantastic Fanatics.
Yeah, definitely. I couldn't agree more. How many clubs have you had sign up so far, Barry?
We have, I think it's 870 clubs the last time I looked last week. And bear in mind, Fantastic Fanatics is a fundraising platform for any club, any sport, any level. So we've got likes of Millwall Football Club are on there, Ross County Football Club are on there, Derbyshire County Cricket are coming on there, Hibs will be on in mid-January. But it's also for the thousands of grassroots clubs from swimming all the way through to hockey. We've got partnerships with Netball Northern Ireland, who have opened up to all their clubs. Scottish Swimming have done the same. Scottish Hockey are doing the same. So it's trying to get that extended reach and get a message out there that there is ways for clubs to fundraise that is basically just being part of normal life, shopping, and it's like it's about giving the clubs and the members the biggest and best choice of where and how to generate money for their sport. And it's trying to get that to being a conscious decision as well. But the more we grow, the hopefully the less conscious it'll need to be, and it's just very little behavior change, and people walk into a shop and they get an alert on their phone saying, I've just raised £1.85 for whoever.
Yeah. And have there been any kind of particular success stories so far? Have there been any sort of clubs that have really maximized their potential with it?
Yeah, I mean, there's been quite a few, and mostly come from grassroots, to be honest, Andrew. I mean, I mentioned some top flight clubs there, and we're very early on in our partnerships with these clubs, like the Middlesbrough Foundation in the northeast of England. There, I'm sure we'll do really well. But it's been just been a couple of weeks we've been in partnership with them. But yeah, one club who done really well lately is a Northern Irish club called Derryachy FC. Apologies to anybody from Derryachy if I'm saying that name wrong. But yeah, I mean, they've raised, I think, over £1,000 in the last 2 months, which is astonishing. For a grassroots or amateur club, and a lot of the clubs are in the hundreds of pounds for this quarter, but it's always down to the club and getting that proactive person. And the more the club puts in, the more the club's going to get out. So it's about spreading the word, getting the message out to their own members, their own fans, and just getting them into a little bit of a culture of fundraising while shopping.
Mm-hmm, mm-hmm. What have been some of the sort of tips or sort of top tips or advice that you could give to a club that were thinking of going on it to sort of get the most value out of it?
Sure. I mentioned the phrase there, the more the club puts in, the more the club's going to get out. And that's the case. But it doesn't have to be, you don't have to spend money with it. We're providing all the promotional material that the clubs can put out through their social media. What's worked really well for us is sending promotional material on WhatsApp. So the clubs can then cascade it to their own WhatsApp groups. Every sports club got their own WhatsApp group, and that is the best way to spread the fundraising message. But there's a lot more, there's a lot more you can do. I mean, we provide a bit of incentives ourselves, which is the cash prize draws and stuff like that. And we know it's not just the role of the clubs to incentivize. There's so much passion and loyalty in sport that that's a fantastic incentive enough already for some clubs. But we're more than happy to have a coaching call, hold webinars with any clubs that want to get in touch, and just find out what works best for them. I mean, each club is different. I give you an example that you can imagine. We've got a roller derby club. There you go. How about that? Yeah. Now they're really proactive on their social media, and spread the word really well like that. But we've got like bowls clubs. You can imagine the demographics slightly different, so the language has to be different. But we just held a webinar last week for a Bowls Scotland district coordinators. So it's educating them to educate the clubs. And like I say, any club's welcome to get in touch, and we'll give them a little coaching call, no problem.
Excellent. So what if a club is listening to this and they go, fancy that, where can they go and get signed up?
Well, they would firstly go to fantasticfanatics.com. That's a place to start. It's really simple. Basically, you're clicking join as a club. You fill in a few club details, name, address, etc., and then you upload only 3 verification documents. So one has to be your photographic ID. Second one is the club bank account details, because we need to pay the club. And third can be any other piece of evidence that you're a real club. So club constitution or affiliation to governing body or something like that of their choice. And that's it done. And we approve the club. The club receive a wonderful onboarding pack or welcome pack that's got all the promotional stuff in there. From Richard Gordon, the BBC Sport journalist. He did a radio advert for us, so that's in there, and a few handy sign-up videos, etc. And yeah, it's really as simple as that for a club. For a member, even quicker. Basically, the club tells the members, we're on board, please choose us. So quickly go on to fantasticfanatics.com, join as a fan, choose your club, link your everyday debit and credit card, and you're done. And that's it. And then it's basically a case of happy shopping and happy fundraising.
Yeah, great. Okay. Well, thank you so much. I mean, the reason we were doing this is because we're announcing our sort of partnership between Club Development Scotland and Fantastic Fanatics. I think it's quite nice that we both share the same sort of ideals and vision really for what we want Scottish sport to be. And there's sort of a lot of parallels in terms of, we're both existing to try and help develop the capacity of sports clubs. So it might be nice for us to mention that actually if clubs do sign up, and when they do, if they select Club Development Scotland as the governing body, then we will donate back 10% back to them for the first 6 months of their sign up on Fantastic Fanatics.
Absolutely, I think it's a great, it's a very generous offer from Club Development Scotland, and we're delighted to be in partnership with you guys. Obviously, you knowing what you guys do is you've provided some amazing support to clubs across the country that like us, want them to survive and thrive. So brilliant to be in partnership with you guys, and you're absolutely right about the 10%. That's perfect. All the clubs need to do is choose yourself when they are registering, and then every quarter when the clubs get paid, we will ensure 10% of the Club Development Scotland commission goes back to the clubs that have earned it.
Perfect. Well, thank you so much for joining us today, Barry. Hopefully in the near future we'll see you again. We're going to try and organise a webinar for the near future where clubs can learn a bit more about the platform. But pleasure to have you on the podcast.
Yeah, well, listen, thank you so much for having me, and no problem speaking to the clubs on a webinar. Delighted to do that. We just want to spread the word as much as we can, and we're looking forward to being in partnership and seeing many of the clubs you're associated with or connected to coming on to Fantastic Fanatics in the near future. Thanks, Andrew.
Cheers. Bye-bye.
Cheers. Bye-bye.
So there we go. That was Barry Munro, Operations Director and co-founder of Fantastic Fanatics. Hopefully, if you're a club or a fan of a club not currently registered with Fantastic Fanatics, listening to this podcast will have provided you with some value and perhaps a few ideas. So you can head over to fantasticfanatics.com for a bit more information on how the platform works. If you decide to sign up to the platform, do make sure you get the most of the extra 10% we're currently offering clubs when they register. So when you do that, you need to select Club Development Scotland as the referee governing body from the list that is provided. But it's well worth doing it for an extra 10% and some free extra cash for your club. I think really what I like most about Fantastic Fanatics is basically the first one being sustainable income whilst you sleep, essentially. So the club doesn't really need to do much once they've got their fan base signed up to the platform and supporting them, and those fans have registered their cards. Hopefully when those people are then buying online or in store with those cards, that will generate income for your club whilst you sleep. And I think that's really important given the sort of insurmountable challenges COVID-19 has presented in terms of fundraising events. I know a lot of the clubs that we're involved with have had to cancel fundraising events. So there is a big gap in those sort of revenues. So this is what I really like, is actually, although there is work in mobilising people in that first instance, this is recurring sustainable income for your club after that. So that's the first thing I really like. The second thing I really like about Fantastic Fanatics is it really gives clubs the opportunity to develop stronger partnerships with sponsors. So if you're a club with lots of sponsors and you're sometimes wondering what more you can do to them to develop that partnership, to keep that partnership strong, get them signed up to Fantastic Fanatics as well. So whenever your partners spend in your sponsors' stores, that's providing more value for both you and them. They're getting more income. You're getting more income from your fan base. It kind of really brings that connection together nice and tightly. So I really think that's a nice thing that you can do. If you have a strong base of sponsors within the local community that are happy to sponsor you, this is something nice you can give back to them. And two, if you don't currently have a sponsor base, this is something that you can do to encourage sponsors to come on board. So look at all the stores in the local community that might be interested in getting involved. And getting them signed up really as a sponsor. You can almost sort of start to demonstrate what your fan base is worth to them in terms of in-store spend. So a couple of things that I think are really positive about Fantastic Fanatics, and we're really delighted to be in partnership with the platform. As I say, hopefully you found that interesting. We'll be back in the new year with more podcasts. We'll be exploring all sorts of different topics in the new year in 2021, including other aspects of fundraising, other governance issues, other things to do with good work that other clubs are doing within Scotland. So please do watch this space and come back when it goes live. Until then, we hope you have a great Christmas and best seasonal wishes to you all, and we'll see you in 2021.